Dog cognitive science has come a long way over the past 2 decades. Research has shown that dogs have the same brain structures that produce emotions in humans, and there are a few things in this world that they choose over food. In this video, we look at 15 things dogs love according to science. Number 15. Beef over chicken, cooked over raw. Dogs have evolved to have individual preferences on what kind of meat they enjoy. Studies have found that most dogs prefer beef and pork over chicken and lamb. The hierarchy of meat preferences for most dogs appears to be beef, followed by pork, lamb, chicken, and horsemeat. They also prefer cooked meat to raw meat and ground meat to cubed meat. Another study published in Canadian Veterinary Journal has found that dogs like warm, moist food over cold or dry foods. Number 14. Being productive. Just like people, dogs have a sense of purpose. They enjoy accomplishing tasks and feeling useful. A recent study published in Animal Cognition has found that dogs experience positive states in response to their own achievements. Our canines have a natural inclination to work, otherwise they will feel bored and restless. Tasks such as finding the newspaper, retrieving your slippers, shepherding a flock of sheep, or typical obedience exercises such as sit, stay, or down. Your four-legged friend loves anything that makes them feel recognized and rewarded. Even throwing a ball and having your dog retrieve it is enough to generate a sense of achievement in a dog's mind. Number 13. Appraising Voice. Dogs love praise, especially when you talk in an upbeat and higher-pitched tone of voice. A new study suggests our dogs care just as much about receiving praise from their owners as they do about getting a yummy treat. Some dogs may actually value their humans' approval more than any goodies they can gobble down. When animal cognition scientists at Emory University studied dogs' brains using an MRI scanner, they found that canines' brains stimulated more in anticipation of an owner praising them rather than a yummy morsel. The research suggests that dogs are primarily motivated by praise. So the next time Fido follows your command, completes a trick, or shows you a little affection, remember that a kind word may be all it takes to show your appreciation. Number 12. Cool, fresh water. A recent experiment conducted by University of New England tested dogs' preference for water temperature. Believe it or not, the researchers found that, like humans, dogs have a preference for drinking water that is cool. The prevailing theory is that this is a learned behavior, perhaps because colder water is often fresher than warmer water. Of course, even though dogs prefer cool, fresh, and clean drinking water, they will drink just about any water if they're thirsty. Number 11. Novelty. Dog owners have always just assumed that dogs love new toys, but did you know there's actually a science behind this? Studies have shown that dogs suffer from something called neophilia, an intense preference for novelty. That means that dogs are just hardwired to prefer new things and, by extension, to lose interest once something is no longer new. In other words, the toy that piqued your dog's interest 30 minutes ago may soon be relegated to the corner and lie there unnoticed and untouched. The good news is that buying new toys is not the only way to keep toys new. Instead of leaving toys out all the time so that they lose their appeal, toys can be put out of sight. Old toys can be rotated back into sight as somewhat new. Number 10. Always being by your side. Modern science often refers to love as hormonal response, and specifically one hormone known as oxytocin. Our bodies produce oxytocin when we fall in love, or when we cuddle, hug, or kiss the ones we love. It is the same hormone that drives the bond between mother and baby. As oxytocin is associated with trust, romantic attachment, and relationship building, it's sometimes referred to as the love hormone. Since dogs can't speak, we can use this hormone to try to explain how our dogs feel about us. In a study from 2003, scientists learned that when people pet, cuddle, or interact with their dogs, the levels of oxytocin surge in both the dogs and the owners. Dogs do seem to love their human, and they show this love hormonally. In another experiment, scientists brought dogs to an environment where there was a bowl of food and their human. When the door was opened and the dog was presented with a choice, every single dog went for their human first, and only after this proceeded to eat the food. All recent studies suggest that all our dogs want from us is to be with us and to be by our side. They don't seem to care about food as much as they care about us. Number 9. For you to be happy. Believe it or not, your happiness is the most important thing for your dog. Research has shown that when we get stressed, our dogs get stressed out too. Swedish researchers examined concentrations of a stress hormone called cortisol in 58 dogs and their owners over long periods of time. They found that the patterns of cortisol levels in dog owners closely matched that found in their dogs, indicating their stress levels were in sync. In fact, stress in a dog appears to be more closely linked to the stress of its owner than to the dog's own temperament. So don't be surprised if your pup acts differently when you've had a bad day at work. When your dog notices that you are in distress, they show empathy to comfort you. And when you are happy, your dog's behavior reflects the environment. You'll notice your dog wagging their tail, jumping up or barking out of excitement, and mimicking your behavior. Number 8. Pet them where they enjoy it the most. How does your dog prefer being pet? It's a question that has stumped many dog owners for centuries, but science now has an answer. A study published in Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that dogs show more signs of stress like yawning, freezing, lip licking, or elevated heart rates when they are pet on the head, muzzle, shoulders, or paws. Petting on the chest, however, is associated with a decrease of heart rate and is more calming to a dog. Nevertheless, many dogs are comfortable with any types of interactions, even with strangers, because they're used to being around people. But it's best to stroke your dog where they enjoy it most. Your dog feels most comfort when having their chest petted or scratched. Number 7. Mental stimulation. Some people think that dogs just need physical exercise for a healthy body, but dogs also have brains which need to be stimulated through games, toys, and other means. They also want to investigate and discover using their senses and brains. Any activity which will help them think, focus, and solve problems will make them smarter and happier pets. When you're considering what toys to get your dog, include a puzzle toy that involves a challenge followed by a reward. Dogs are intelligent creatures that need mental exercise, and they'll act out if they are bored. How would you feel if you had to sit home all day with nothing to do? It might even drive you nuts enough to start tearing the couch. Number 6. Going for walks over food. A study conducted in the UK aimed to identify the words and phrases that canines love to hear the most. The researchers monitored the dog's heart rate when their favorite phrases were mentioned. Believe it or not, walkies scooped the top spot, with a dog's heart rate increasing by a whopping 36% every time they hear the word. Other words that make our furry friends the happiest are treat, get it, and fetch. Being overjoyed about going for a walk is almost universal among the canines. If you lace up your shoes, reach for that leash, or do anything that signals even the possibility that you are going for a walk, your dog is probably thrilled. Dogs love walks because they fulfill that old, inbuilt survival instinct to go out and search for food. Dogs are pack animals, and while out walking, your canine is most likely going to meet other dogs. This is a great opportunity to help your pup to seek out company of their own kind, sniff around, explore, and enjoy the places where other dogs have been. Number 5. Eating in private. For most dogs, the act of eating is a personal moment, and they prefer to be on their own. When your dog is eating, respect their bliss and let them be. Dogs don't like eating in high-traffic areas, and they need their privacy while eating. Minimize dish handling and let your pooch enjoy their meal. Number 4. Traveling. Instead of leaving your dog at a pet sitter's home, plan a dog-friendly vacation. There are many hotels that are pet-friendly. If you have a small dog, air travel is easier. For larger dogs, you can consider a road trip. Maybe rent an RV and head for the coast. After all, dogs are our family members, and they certainly deserve a trip to a new place. Number 3. Seeing the world through the windows. Although dogs do not depend on their sight as their primary sense, they can still see fairly clearly at distances up to 20 feet. Open some of your shades and blinds so your dog can see what's going on outdoors. Dogs can spend countless hours staring out a window and watching the world go by. Looking out the windows can be the best distraction and give your dog something to do. Number 2. A nice peaceful nap in a quiet spot. You may think your dog can sleep anywhere, anytime, but just because they can sleep through a 7-year-old's birthday party doesn't mean they like it. And they definitely don't like being teased or pushed when they are resting. Startling your dog out of a deep sleep can make them grouchy or even aggressive. Make sure to keep your furry friend's bed in a quiet and safe place. Number 1. A delicious meal. Dogs own a remarkable appetite, and something homemade will be an extra special treat for them. Prepare a special meal for your furry friend every now and then, and let them enjoy their favorite dish. Dogs don't like it when you eat the best food and all they get is dog food. Luckily, you do not need to drastically change your dog's food on a daily basis. Dogs have only a fraction of the taste buds that humans have, which means they don't get bored of eating the same food as often as humans do.